Yo, what's going on, everybody? And we are back. And this is exactly what I've been talking about that we're going to start doing. So we're going to start switch things up a little bit, not too much. Definitely have a lot of police body cam videos that I know for a fact all of y'all didn't see. So if y'all want, go ahead and check those out. But I definitely want to divert not away from the goal of this channel, but away from the police body cams. I definitely want to take a dive into things just to get, again, a better perspective, better think and understand other people and the situations, and maybe be enlightened by something that you may not have even known or even thought about. So without getting too much into details, the more that I do these videos, the more that you'll start to learn exactly, my mindset, and especially the way that I talk about these things and these situations. So pretty much what I've been hearing that's been going on, a lot of talk is about this guy by the name of Charles Kirk. Apparently he's going around to schools, kind of like with Candace Owens, who's with him at the moment. They're going around to schools and talking to young folk and just educating them, not really educating them, but trying to have them open their eyes and see that everything that the world is they're trying to like kind of brainwash you in a sense and have you just do things that they want you to do, when you can really flourish by expanding on your mindset, and not just by everything that you see on the news, but actual factual information that's going on, not from a specific right-wing or left-wing news site, especially not from Instagram or TikTok, because you already know how that goes, but really kind of just help you really understand and see the different perspective. And that's what's going on here. He's joined by Candace Owens. I have mixed feelings about Candace. For the most part, she does talk on certain topics that I do agree with what she's saying, but there has been some things where I'm just like, and then some things that she would co-sign on in 1 second and then turn around on the other. But again, stuff that you could research yourself. But the idea is to not internalize the situation based off of you. Take yourself out of the situation, look at it as a whole, and then judge based off of facts and evidence. If there's no facts and evidence, then it's an opinion. And a lot of times, vast majority of the times, when it comes to decision making or trying to figure things out, opinions isn't the best way to go about it. We want to stick with facts. So let's go ahead and see what they're talking about here and see what's good.
Go ahead.
All right, so I'll start off with my credentials, since apparently they matter.
Oh, they definitely don't matter.
I'm an 8-year military veteran. I'm a college student. I'm a black woman, and I believe that white privilege exists. So we're gonna start with that.
Thank you for your.
And something I'm gonna try and do a little different. I'm gonna try and just let these videos play out and talk in the end, unless it's imperative. I'm trying, guys. Please spare me.
Your service.
And the reason why white privilege exists is because you guys refuse to acknowledge the history that put people in this position. You want to tell me that white privilege doesn't exist when white people had a upper hand for 250 years to develop generational wealth, and that black people didn't get the right to vote until the 60s, and you're going to tell me that white privilege doesn't exist?
So,
that sounds like it exists because you guys got the upper hand.
What's funny about that is blacks were doing better during that time.
Why do we always call people blacks?
No, because you did.
Can we just be black people? Can we just be like African Americans or something?
Well, she did say black.
How would you like it said? What makes you feel better on the inside?
Really, anything else other than what you're saying?
I'll say how you want it.
Anything else?
I'll package it how you need it. Tell me what makes you feel better.
Literally anything else.
And again, this is an imperative moment. This is the part where I'm trying to put emphasis on. You got to take yourself out of the situation and view it as a whole. Because if you put yourself in it, you put in your biases, you put in your experience. Could be very minute considering what the topic is, and that you only know so much. You've only seen so much. You're only told so much. Already off the bat, it doesn't seem like she's trying to learn more. She's just trying to make a point, which I guess is fine because you put your points, whatever.
Other than what you're saying.
Okay, anything else? Why is that anything else, right? In the Jim Crow era, blacks were doing better. Economically, we're outpacing whites under the Jim Crow era than we were doing.
It probably has to do with the fact that we had our own communities before the KKK came and burned them down.
The KKK were Democrats, but give me a second. So after $22 trillion of government handouts and a black president
after how many years of slavery and 44 white presidents, 44 white male presidents, 97% white male Congress.
So you're actually the reason why people like us can't do well, because they've sold you our oppression and you bought it. Blacks were doing better under the Jim Crow era.
If you acknowledge the oppression of other people, we can heal from it.
No, we
but
can't.
But if you want to ignore it, we won't
can't.
have anything happen.
That's not how this works. Dialogue and acknowledging things doesn't make us suddenly rich.
So there's a question I do want to ask.
Just had a
I
baby
can't
recently.
seem to get an
Ooh, that's
answer.
crazy.
What
Bounce
can
back
she
is
not
real.
do in America that a white person can do?
Wow.
What opportunity? You served in the military. You've made good choices. You're getting rewarded for them. You're going to live in the American middle class. What privilege do I have that you don't have that is based on skin color, not on wealth or socioeconomic status? Please.
The fact that you are sitting here with like little to no education trying to talk to people about white privilege is white privilege.
Tell me one thing I said that's wrong, and don't use an argument from authority.
That's like so.
Make a good argument.
I
have a degree. Don't
I'm
cite
arguing
your
from
credentials.
authority.
All right, Kansas is egging on this situation just a little bit. I know she's kind of in her feelings, but what he says is very important. It's not so much about, and this is something that I've come to realize myself. When you look at it from the outside, it's not so much about race. It's more about economic class. Take that into consideration. Now he asks, what can I do as a white man that you can't do as a black person? Based off of the way that she's reacting right now, I'm pretty sure that she's not going to answer the question. But let's see.
Telling you my life experience.
That's not your life experience.
Life
That's
experience.
One
Did you live my
thing.
life?
That means nothing.
Did you live my life?
That means that's a
Name
degree.
one thing
You're not
Live my
smarter
life.
than him because you have a
You can't
degree.
do
Just so you know
that
That's
I
a fallacy.
can do.
That's a fallacy.
Name one thing that you can't do that I can do.
I don't know. I can't make a whole $1.
What? You can't? Why?
What does that mean?
Oh my God.
You're trying to tell me in the
Even
military
they're like,
women
what?
aren't paid the same as men for equal work?
In the military, up until 2 years ago, women weren't even allowed to do most of the jobs that
Answer
men
the
can
question. You just said you couldn't make $1. You said you could not make $1. You served in the military, which
do. Not
is
to mention that people in the
And
military
trigger.
actually get paid a bullshit wage, but we're not
All
going
right,
to talk
guys,
about
so
that.
now we're moving
Yeah,
over
let's
to
talk
now
about.
we're moving
That
on
has
to
no-
Let's
nothing
talk
to do
about
with
for a
skin
second
color.
that you want to say that
What-
everyone in the military
What can I not do?
There's a feminist
so
lie,
that makes it
radical
right.
feminist lie, and they also sell. There's so many different ways they sell you your oppression, and she has purchased all of them today. So right now we are on sexism, right? So she's saying that I can't make a full $1. Yes, you can. If women stop
It's
going
a lie.
in,
I bet he got
I'm not
paid
done
more to be
speaking,
here than
I'm not
you
done
did.
Speaking, okay. If women stop going into career fields like fashion and Vogue and journalism,
psychology.
and we start going into fields like
Engineering.
engineering
Business.
and hard academics,
Finance.
we will make the exact same money that
If
men
not more.
make. The wage gap is a myth and
a
a
myth.
lie. It's a myth
Amen.
and a lie, okay?
Can I say?
It's actually a myth and a lie. I understand that you need to be oppressed, but you have just heard from 2 black people that haven't purchased their oppression from the Democrat Party. Respect that.
And what frustrates me is you served our country,
You're talking about somebody.
which deserves to be applauded. And you have lived a life of a victor, and you have the gumption to tell me you're a victim without evidence. You were not able to cite one thing that you cannot do that I can do. If you make good choices, you will get those choices rewarded. And you brought 0 evidence except an argument from an authority and an insult to my lack of a college degree, of which I am so proud of because I'm not indoctrinated because I didn't go to college. Thank you.
Very interesting. Very interesting. See, look. Look, and that's really the important things when it comes to not really arguments, just disagreements. If we got to look at emotions, okay, cool. We got to look at your emotional experience, then that's you facing whatever it is that you have going on. But that's not entirely necessarily exactly what's kind of going on in the world per se. Maybe a lot of people have that same mindset that you do, but why do you have that mindset? For example, there's one of my brothers, one of my closest friends, my brother. He's doing absolutely well for himself, and he's gotten that grit from his whole family is honestly doing good. His sister, his parents. And like, honestly, I look at his dad as an influence. Like, yo, there's like this whole mindset of, oh, black people can't get here. You know, women can't get here, this, that, and the third. And that, oh, if you're black and you're making this money, then more than likely you got here because somebody gave you a network and stuff like that. No, homie, built his way to his position, and he came from absolutely nothing. But the interesting thing that they don't mention is how many, but like, it's surprised, you would be surprised how many black people are making above average income. I'm pretty sure the number is a lot higher than what you think. Because to me, I didn't think that there were that many black people with high income. I grew up in an area that was predominantly white. Well, when I moved down to Georgia, it was predominantly white. I used to work at the Publix, the neighborhood Publix, and it was mostly white people. But then as I got older and I started driving around these neighborhoods, I realized that there are way more black people that are making decent money, very good money, well off and wealthy than what I thought. And the thing is, like Charles was saying, it has little to do with race when it comes to climbing the corporate ladder, and it more has in the way that people see you. And it's really, like, to me at least, it really has to deal with economics. The whole Tulsa, Oklahoma thing, I mean, yeah, the KKK, or I want to say again, these aren't actual facts or research that I know, but there were white people that came and destroyed Tulsa, Oklahoma. I don't know how many other communities, flourishing communities, that they got rid of, but that's what they did. I also recall reading about history, how the roles in the political parties kind of switched. The people that you would think were the liberals, they were actually the Republicans, and then the Republicans were actually the Democrats, which is very weird. It kind of switched. So you would think that it was the Republicans that were the ones that were the racists back to the Lincoln times, where they were Republicans. And it's like, okay, these are the people that only cared about themselves, only the white people, this and the third, races and the black and all that stuff. But apparently it was switched at some point, and I don't know how. I'm not going to try and dig too deep into it. What do you think about how do you get your information? And how do you validate it? So like I mentioned before, until recently, I always took what I was fed as word, as facts, as truth. And I've come to realize, if I don't go and do the research myself, then whatever I'm given and I take it as fact, then that's fact. Because since we're talking about racism, we got those black people that are becoming wealthy, and they're hiding out in all these rich areas, these flourishing environments, and you don't see them. Why? Because they're trying to be a part of a community where their kids and their parents can walk outside and feel safe. That's one thing I really appreciated about my dad. He never wanted me or our family to be in an area where we weren't safe. I always lived in areas where I could leave my bicycles in the front yard and never even think twice about it being stolen. That was because of the hard effort that my father as an immigrant had put in to come to America and put his family in that situation. It all comes with hard work. You can say racist this, racist that, but don't take the racism out of your mind for a second and just put in the work that you need to, and stop taking in handouts from the government, and you'll get somewhere. I have way more that I got to say, but I'm not going to make this video longer than it is. Y'all can comment anything about the video and how you feel about the video, or anything that I just said. But regardless, we're going to end this one right here. I'll take it easy. Peace.